Hey guys, it's Ryan from Roll to Hit. I'm in slow moving traffic and thought, hey, why not shoot video for my next video? So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the introduction while I'm here. Basically tonight, my in real life group is going to be meeting and concluding the homebrew campaign that I've had going for 2 years now. So this is kind of a big deal. I'm a little apprehensive, believe it or not. These are friends, I'm very comfortable with them, but nonetheless, it is kind of the closing out, the end of an era, if you will, or at least the end of a big chapter, because with D&D campaigns, you can keep going, obviously. You don't have to stop them. But tonight is going to be the big battle. And I've been thinking about how do I kind of give this campaign its proper conclusion. I mean, I suppose every big epic story should end in a big epic battle. I don't know that that's written in stone somewhere, but it just seems like the right way to close it out. And so when I get back, I want to show you all how I kind of planned it out, how I plan on wrapping everything up, and what I did, how I created the creatures. Now the creatures that they're going to be fighting, at least the main creature, was a creature that I had envisioned from the very beginning. So they will finally meet the source of all of the angst and drama that has been percolating in the environment, and traffic is speeding up now, so I got to pay attention. It's been percolating in the environment, and so, but they're going to finally meet this big bad guy tonight, and there's going to be an epic battle, and I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm going to show you all the calculator that I use. I'm actually using it for this one. I've gotten to where I don't even really pay much attention to challenge ratings. For this one, I wanted to make it pretty substantial, a pretty difficult challenge, so I did dial it up a bit. I also rolled the hit points for these guys. A lot of times I'll just go with the average that's in the stat block, but I actually rolled hit points last night. My wife was like, why aren't you filming yourself doing this? Because, I don't know, I was like, kind of a good idea, maybe I should. She's like, you need a production manager. I'm like, maybe you should be my production manager. So anyways, at least it's her idea. I will not re-roll the hit points, but I'll kind of show you where I captured them. And then I've kind of got a little bit of a framework for how I think the battle's going to start. The other thing I'm going to be doing is one of the player characters died early on, and it's Dungeons and Dragons, so just because you die doesn't mean you disappear like it is in the real world. So tonight, I'm thinking of having his ghost or maybe some shimmer of his ghost reappear and give the players' characters a very substantial hint as to what they need to do. I think it might be kind of cool to bring this person's character back, just very briefly. I'm not going to be playing this person's character, I'm not going to be playing this character, but to bring them back and just kind of say, look, we've got some continuity here. You've got some guardian angels that have been watching over you as you've been adventuring this whole time. And they want to see you all succeed. So anyways, it's the end of Darkness Over Dragon's Pine, and I hope you all will maybe pick up some Dungeon Master tips for how I'm closing out the session and how I'm closing out this campaign, in fact, in a way that's meaningful for the group, meaningful for me, and gives us a good kind of closing moment, or closing, I don't know what you call it, scene, that we can then pivot to new campaigns. And we've already started that. We're playing Strixhaven. I'm actually going to be playing in Strixhaven, which I'm excited about. We've already done a session 0.5 where we started that. So really excited to start playing it again as a player character. But yeah, so stay tuned. Hi everybody, it's Ryan. I am back from the road. I have actually fast forwarded a couple of days now. That was Wednesday when I did that kind of preview. Today's Friday, and so I played in the campaign Wednesday night. It was as epic as I had hoped. It was a great conclusion to the campaign.
I'm going to talk a little bit now, get down to kind of the nitty gritty of how I planned that session, just so for dungeon masters out there trying to figure out how to tie a bow around a campaign, maybe you can get some tips out of what I did. I always knew, I'll show you my original notes here. I always knew I was going to have them fight Shallowback at the end. I wrote this backstory sometime before our very first session, which was in August of 2020. So I knew Shallowback was the bad guy working for Shar. Shallowback was a mind flayer. And he lived in the Shadowfell, and they were trying to basically pull Waterdeep into a domain of dread and turn it into kind of some sort of, I guess, island in the Shadowfell. But nonetheless, my heroes thwarted the mission. They had the battle at the end. So I knew I needed to roll stats for Shallowback, and I wanted to make him more than just your average mind flayer. I also wanted him to have a couple of minions, and so I created a couple of CR3 level monsters using the mummy stat block for one of them. And the other one was a new one that I actually found. It was in Van Richten's guide to Ravensloft, and that was a brain in a jar, which I thought was hilarious for a mind flayer to have like a brain just sitting up in a jar that it would just like salivate over if he got really hungry. But nonetheless, I rolled stats. I'll show you what I rolled originally. So I rolled stats. I dropped them into this Word document here. And so I didn't mess with the AC. Get rid of these guys. I got the hit points, and I was like, I knew my players were going to just chew through these monsters so fast. The rogue, Mark's Gimner rogue, can damage is like 30 hit points every time. Daniel's Tasvian, Daniel's Barbarian Taz, with rage, with Sentinel attack. Just so much damage. Connor, who plays Harlan the Wizard, can throw fireballs now. They're level 9 characters. So I was like, they're going to need to be much tougher than this. And I'll show you what I'd use. This is an XP calculator that I created, a spreadsheet. And I built this years ago. And so the monster database has all of the challenge ratings and hit points, XP for each monster. And it uses this XP threshold, which is out of the Dungeon Master's Guide, to try to help you, measure or compare what kind of encounter your players are going to have. So you put in the number of players for the player levels. Obviously, they need to all be at the same level for this to work, and what kind of encounter you want to have. So you want to be easy, medium, deadly. It flips the threshold based on the kind of encounter. So I wanted a hard encounter, not deadly. I wanted it to be hard. So then I put in the Mind Flayer. I put 2 mummies in there because both are CR3. The Brain in a Jar is not in this database yet. I actually physically have to go out and put it in there. So I put 2 mummies in there, and then it does a multiplier based on the number of monsters as well, and compare the 2. And I was like, yeah, it's still not going to be enough because, like I said, I know my players. I know what kind of damage they can do. So I took the monsters and dialed up the hit points dramatically, made them much tougher, and it worked out about right. So during the actual battle, and I'll flip back over to D&D Beyond. So I have my Mind Flayer Arcanist here. During the actual battle, Tasvian the Barbarian was grappled. He got grappled by the tentacles, and the Mind Flayer Shallowback was going to extract his brain, and he would have died. He would have down below 0 if I would have rolled to hit his AC. So I rolled my 2. He had advantage. I rolled my 2 d20s out in front of everybody. Neither one hit, so he survived. Now, Elisar, on the other hand, dear Elisar, he got smashed by the mummy creature with this rotting fist, multiple times. So he was cursed. He was obliterated a couple of times. He went down to 0 hit points. But Connor, being the resourceful wizard that he is, Harlan, threw some fireballs and just lit everybody up. And so they ended up winning the day. Even Gimner, my very, very sneaky rogue, who can just roll in, do some massive damage, and then disengage, bonus action hide, with a super high stealth rolls almost all the time. It was super powerful. But they survived. They saved Waterdeep. They saved all of Faerun from this Shar attack, kind of on behalf of Selyun. And so this was interesting though, what happened to Elisar, because he went down to 0 hit points and he was cursed. And so with this sort of curse, he didn't go down to 0 because of the curse, but he went down to 0 and was cursed. So we were like, does he turn to dust? We kind of adjudicated that back and forth. We stabilized him, or they stabilized him. I was happy to have him stabilized. It was the end of the campaign, but it also was kind of funny if he did turn to dust. They were just going to scoop up his dust and take him into Waterdeep. They have tons of gold, and so they were going to, find a cleric in town that would bring him back with some sort of restoration spell, a revivify spell or something. I can't remember which one, but they really didn't need to do that. So we wrapped up the campaign, and it was good fun had by all. And it was a little bittersweet because Patrick, the one who went down to 0 hit points, who plays Elisar, is going to be moving, and he's moving out of the country actually. So, we've had this same group for a long time now, and since 2016, and so it's going to be tough. I think we're going to be missing him when he goes, and to commemorate his next chapter, and we're happy for him, but to commemorate this next chapter, we're going to be fighting Tiamat in an upcoming kind of probably 2-shot. Mark, who played Gimner, is going to be DMing Tiamat. He has the huge mini, which is amazing. And then everybody that was in my campaign is going to be leveling up their characters to level 20 for this encounter with Tiamat. I'm going to go back and find an old paladin that I played, Aramil Evanwood. I played him years ago. I'm going to level him up to level 20. And so we're going to, when a paladin, a barbarian, a blood hunter, and a wizard, we're all going to level up, kind of level up to 20 and just go get decimated by Tiamat. It's not even going to be a contest, but got to fight Tiamat, for crying out loud. It's something we got to do, right? As a group, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to start into Strixhaven. Probably Sans Patrick will be well and truly into his new adventures, I think, by that time. So it was a bittersweet evening. It was a great conclusion to the campaign. Hopefully you all got something out of seeing kind of what I do. I normally don't pay much attention to challenge ratings, kind of for the reasons I just showed you. You know your players well enough to know whether or not the CR, how that's going to work. So just take them one kind of battle at a time, and obviously the goal is to have a great time, which we did. So if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to ring the bell to get notified when I upload new videos. This video is a day late. I try to do them every Thursday. Yesterday I was kind of wiped out, probably from Wednesday night's big activity, and then we had a lot going on yesterday too. So it's a little bit late, but it's here. It's weekly at least. So subscribe to the channel for weekly D&D videos, and thank you again.